I went into a gallery the other day, quite a nicely lit large gallery, and there was very little work in there but one fairly large painting in the middle about this size, and it was semi-abstract. It was little wavy shapes. The use of paint was good, I liked it, and I looked in the write-up for this exhibition and it said that the painting was profoundly moving, I think the words were used, and I began to think about this this phrase, profoundly moving, and think about the way people describe works of art or paintings, and I thought to myself, it's a big claim to call a painting profoundly moving. I paint something because I'm interested in the visual aspects of it. The distance in this painting here, I often paint Newlyn Harbour, and this is about the middle of, in the middle of the morning, and you get the distance, the small shapes of the boats, the trawlers in the distance, and the details on the roofs, and that fascinates me. Whether I would claim that to be profoundly moving or not is questionable, and I began to think they call this sort of painting actually. You begin to think what do critics or observers call this sort of painting? Figurative or representational, or a word I prefer, realist, because I mean it sounds very corny and people criticise people for saying this. I paint what I see, but it's that sort of words used to describe paintings. I mean, for instance, this one here, which I've finished, is a Newlyn Harbour at the middle of the day, and the light, the sun's up here, the light comes across the harbour, and it's making the shadows radiate out from the centre point of the sun, and there's a little colour note here. Most of the colours are cool, and I use paint as best I know how to express the distance and the feeling of texture. If you run your hand over the painting, there's a certain texture to it. I think this is all expressive. There's another word that critics use for paintings, expressionism, realism, expressionism, all these sort of things. And I think figurative or representational, I don't know what words to use about my painting. There's another one here I did of Newlyn in the morning, just after a rain shower, and you can see there that the light is reflecting from here and the sun's coming over these clouds. Again, there's a roughness of paint which I like, and the boats seen against the light, although the boats are bright colours, they're rather subdued as they're seen against the light, and this interests me, and I feel somehow slightly demeaned by calling the painting a representational painting. When you think about the past, painters like Turner have painted scenes against the light, and there are paintings which profoundly move me, I suppose, in a way. That's a slight exaggeration, like Rembrandt's wonderful paintings of the Return of the Prodigal Son and that. But when you describe paintings, what terms do you use? I think we're a bit short of terminology, or there is a misuse of terminology when you talk about paintings. Why do I do a painting like this, for instance? I often paint paintings of the fish market. This is one of them, and I like doing workplace paintings of the workplace. I've painted shoe factories, places where they process fish. This is one of the Newlyn fish market, and one of the main reasons I particularly chose those figures with their backs to me is I liked the primary colours, red, yellow and blue, and added with the interest of the subject. I thought that was made a change from painting the cooler greys and blues of the harbour and paintings like this. And I think it's a thing we should think about. Critics have used a tremendous number of words over the past century to describe paintings, from expressionism, abstraction, abstract paintings. What does abstract mean? You take something from something else, or you choose to take part of it and you play around with the paint. It's a very loose word actually. In some ways this is an abstract. It isn't the actual scene, it's part of the scene that I've chosen to paint in a certain manner. So, you know, I just think it's interesting really, this terminology which is used to describe paintings these days.